Welcome back to Dice to Meet You. This is a podcast where we're all about to play some Dungeons & Dragons. I'm your host and your Dungeon Master, Keith McBlane.
I'm Glen Tickle, I play Mouse Grouse.
I'm Jacob Haller, I play Skullbutt, the cat bard.
I'm Tara Dunderdale, I'm Audreyn, the goat monk.
And Troy had to back out at the last minute. I think it might have something to do with the fact that he's transitioning to a different position at his work. But he says that he should be available for the foreseeable future. And that's kind of a shame because I was planning a mayoral debate for today.
Oh, man. So sad.
Audreyn volunteers to step in. Not really.
Now I'm running a session with only about half the content I had vaguely planned out, but we'll see what happens. Last week, the party had gotten arrested, and they were talking to the Sheriff Nightwhisper just before being released. And then they found out something rather shocking, and that is that Nightwhisper, like some of the members of the party, is from a different world. So I guess Nightwhisper's gonna say, well, tell me about where you're from. How did all of this happen?
Well, I have a song about that. 1, 2, 1, 2, 2. You know that living in the city isn't very pretty when you're used to punching demons in the nose. My friends were in a bar, reminiscing about their war, when a porcupine appeared in wizard's clothes. Now he said he'd had a friend who had been an evil man, till the porcupine at last had sold him out. Now he's looking for his daughter, and he thought my friend should honor, teleport to a new world and help him out. And how'd that work out for them? They're in the jailhouse now. They're in the jailhouse now. They chose to seek that piney girl instead of sticking to their own damn world. They're in the jailhouse now. Well, the porcupine said the truth was his daughter had a flute and a weapon that he couldn't quite explicate. Now he made this quest sound fine to my friends who at the time were a human, half-elf, and a dwarf curate. So they got transported here, transformed to goat and mouse and bear, and they ran into me and we shared an ale. They've been searching far and wide, so I offered to be their guide. We figured there was no way we could fail. But guess what? We're in the jailhouse now. We're in the jailhouse now. They could have stayed back home and retained a more or less human form. They're in the jailhouse now. Next we went to the Goddess Repose, spent a bunch of time buying fancy clothes. We searched and searched for clues around the town. We tried to meet the mayor, but she wouldn't meet us on a dare. We didn't let these setbacks get us down. I had written up a flyer, which I hoped might help us find her. But later at the bar, there'd been no bite. After a few drinks, we agreed that we would see what we would see at the zoning office late that very night. And was that a good idea? Well, we're in the jailhouse now. We're in the jailhouse now. The sheriff took one look, kicked me half to death, then threw the book. We're in the jailhouse now. So that's a story and our fate. So Nightwhisper, bring us up to date. Here in the jailhouse now.
Wow, that was so informative.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I am
I
for.
know everything. Well, I guess I only owe it to you then to, I guess tell you about my entire life story with no details left out. Do I have to sing it too? Is that what we're doing here?
Absolutely.
I
It
think
is.
fine.
so, yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay. So Night Whisper brings his flute up to his lips, but then he's like, wait, can't sing and play. Okay, I'll just put this away. So
Do you want to borrow my lute?
I don't know how to play. I can strum poorly, but I don't know that accompaniment would necessarily help me out much.
All right.
Okay, here we go. Who is Night Whisper? Well, where do I start? He's a dark and edgy kitten with courage in his heart. I believed in myself. That's how I got here. I believed in myself. That's how I survived. Deep in the forest, I trained from childhood, learned how to punch and kick and backflip really good. Enemies all around, war machines built for fighting, fists against steel, families lost and homes ignited. When all was nearly lost, when all the others fled their stations, survivors of a ruined city helped us fight these cruel creations, and so I started new. Journeyed wide across the land, black op missions in the war, friends divided, quit the band, but I believed in myself. That's how I got here. I believed in myself. That's how I survived. And so just four remained. Hacksworth, Leaf, Pin, and this cat. Fighting back new escalations. Bounty hunting's where it's at. And after many trials, peace was forged of shattered nations. We did all we could. And so we're offered new creations. Time to move along. Time for Pin to seek a new home, always on the run, skipping across worlds like stepping stones. And so I said goodbye. I wanted my own new horizon. I couldn't come along for some important magic reason, and so I'm sent here. Different people, different language, I'm all on my own. But in Heart City somehow manage, and I believed in myself. That's how I got here. I believed in myself. That's how I survived. Believe in yourself, self.
So
Well, if you're still listening, I apologize.
in my head, while Night Whisper was singing that, he was like acting out a montage. So he was like doing karate
certainly.
kicks. Yeah, like doing karate kicks, and then like wistfully looking out a window, and jumping up on the desk.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, that describes it as well as anything.
That was great, Night Whisper. You're really talented. I think you should be sheriff.
So Night Whisper says, this is pretty great. Now I can talk to people about my homeworld without sounding crazy. Man, we can talk about so much stuff. I bet you people are, like, loaded to the gills with mods, right?
I mean, I don't know what that means, so probably not. No.
This seems like a conversation that Deckham would be better at.
Yeah, like, actually, upon hearing this, Deckham's just like, nope, I'm out, gotta find a new therapist, and just leaves the station.
Oh.
Isn't he in jail?
He just got released, he's fine.
Okay.
So mods, what are mods?
Well, I guess you might you're still from this place, right? So, I mean, I bet these guys know what I'm talking about. You know, how you have, like, your basic neural implants. I've got the one around my right optic nerve. Pin said I should go for the one directly in the brain, but I was like, no, that's more invasive. Pin said, don't be a baby, but I was like, it's my skull. I don't want a hole drilled in it.
So
Fair point.
maybe we're from different worlds.
Yeah, I'm starting to suspect that. Do you all have, like, robots and stuff where you're from?
I don't think so.
What's a robot?
I don't know what that is, so nah.
Well,
We got demons. You guys have demons? We killed, like, so many. So many of them. Are robots like demons?
no. Boy, this is awkward. Forget I said anything about robots and mods.
Yeah.
And also pretend I didn't mention, like, robots and like lasers and shotguns.
What? And
I
what?
didn't mention some of those things, but just pretend I didn't.
What are
Yeah,
the
okay.
words that you are saying?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
All right. No, I'll pretend I didn't hear any of that. So Night Whisper, have you
Yeah.
ever heard the word shotgun?
Yeah?
Yeah, what does it mean?
He pulls out the object that is strapped to his back from underneath his cloak, and it looks kind of like a crossbow made out of some, like, matte black material, but it doesn't have... It like, sort of the stock and shape of it look the same, but it doesn't have the bowed piece of metal that would normally fire a projectile. And he says, it's this thing.
You have a special word for a broken crossbow?
Sure, why not?
What does it
Okay.
do?
Um,
Like, why carry around a broken crossbow?
You know, that's a good question, because sometimes I need it. Not often, though. Usually punching and kicking is enough. But anyway, you said you guys were looking for Pin. She's not here.
Where is she?
I don't know. Like I mentioned in my very comprehensive song, we were separated like years ago, and well, she's out somewhere on her own, and I guess she just hasn't come by to visit. I don't know.
Is she a robot?
Nah, she's organic.
Is she a shotgun? Are shotguns
What's
organic? Is she an
Oh
implant?
boy, I have a lot to explain.
Yeah. You threw a lot of new words out there that we don't know.
Don't worry about all that stuff. She's a porcupine. That's easy enough.
All right.
Okay,
well,
I know that word.
Her dad
That
told
we
us to
know.
find her, so that's sort of our whole deal right now. Is we got to find this lady. There's also, I feel like do we have to fight the mayor? Look, we don't know. I don't know a lot of stuff. I know you solve all problems.
I don't think you do have to fight the mayor.
I know you solve all problems by stealing. And
You know that death is not really a problem.
yeah, there's no consequences for actions, and that Kevin's the worst. That's basically like if you had to sum up Mouse Grouse's core principles. That's what
and
we're working
also
with.
our outfits look great.
Yeah. Oh, also we're styling as hell.
Yeah.
I did forget to buy a cape, so at some point I want to swing by and pick up a cape.
I think I might have a small cape, but yeah, otherwise the party is kind of unfortunately low on capes.
Yeah.
So wait, so
This upsets Tara. Audryn has no feelings about it.
all right, so in my song, I talked a little bit about meeting Pin's father. Was that all news to you, or had Pin told you anything about him?
Well, I did meet him a few times, and I know a little bit about, I guess, like, his whole situation, how he's on the run for I guess, the crimes that his master committed, but I don't know the whole story, and what I do know is, like, secondhand information, so...
Why don't you tell us everything that you know so that we can see if we have the same information? Maybe.
Okay. Get ready for more backstory.
Is it going to be another song?
Audryn pulls out popcorn.
Everyone's favorite part of listening to people talk.
Yay!
So he says, like I said, I don't know the whole story, but, at one point, Trukin and Schiff, Pin's father and mother, were, I mean, I guess like regular non-anthropomorphic porcupines. Just like, well, not regular, because they were the familiars of like the two most powerful wizards that had ever been. And these two wizards, they were friends, but then they stopped being friends. And one of them became good and helped a bunch of people, and the other one became evil and did deals with demons and stuff. He created a bunch of portals that helped demons take over purgatory and enslave the souls of the dead. And it was bad.
Yeah, that was bad.
So then the good wizard tried to stop him, and there was a big crazy battle between the two most powerful wizards ever, but then the good wizard lost. Oh no! But all was not hopeless, I think, because the bad wizard's familiar was in love with the good wizard's familiar, and so he betrayed his bad master. So then a bunch of good heroes knew where to find that wizard after the good wizard lost, and the bad wizard was like, oh no, I'm totally gonna get killed by all these good adventurers who know where I am now. I'm super powerful wizard, but even I can't stop this epic team. But he knew he wasn't long for the world, and he didn't want to go out holding a grudge against his only friend. So he cast a spell on the two familiars, transforming them, giving them more versatile bodies that could travel basically anywhere. And he gave them his spell books, which they could use to run from the authorities and live life as outlaws. So then they did that for a while, and at some point they had a daughter, and settled down in, I guess, my home world, because there were like a lot of people like them, a lot of anthropomorphic animals, and I guess they did a bunch of stuff while they were in that world, but eventually they had to move on from that too. So I had become friends with Pin. We had fought together. And traveled together, which is how I got to meet Truk and Chef.
So you're friends with Pin. So do you think Pin? So these folks were sent to find Pin and reunite her with her father, I guess. Like, is that something that Pin would want? Do you think, or does she not want to see her father again?
I think they're on good terms. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't be. Last I saw them, they all left together to go somewhere else. And I couldn't come with them because Trukin said some very complicated magic thing that I don't remember all of, but I think the general gist of it is that my body wasn't, like, compatible with the place they were going to, and the version of the spell he was casting wasn't powerful enough to, like, alter me, I think, so he sent me here instead to be like, hey, there's cool stuff to do here, I bet. Then I came here, went to the goddess's repose, and became the sheriff. The best sheriff in the world.
No doubt. Okay, so, but apparently Pin is here also someplace. I guess she knew that you were here, so maybe...
Yeah, the only reason I could think that she would come here would be to see me, I guess, because we're old friends. But I just haven't seen or heard anything from her. So, if you guys are looking for her, you're not gonna find her here.
Did she give you your flute?
Yeah, it was her parting gift to me.
Does she have another instrument?
I mean, I bet she would probably get a new flute.
Okay, fair
She's
enough.
very good at flute. It's one of the main things she does.
Right.
She's actually a bard like you.
Oh, awesome.
So many more songs when we find her.
I'm probably better than her though. But we can have some kind of music off when we find her. But I'm pretty sure I'd win. But that aside.
Nah. Pin would wipe the floor with you.
Only one way to find out.
She's the best flute player in the world, probably.
All right. Setting that aside, so...
I'm the best knife player in the world, and then I start, like, drumming with knives.
That's not a real thing, but you do you.
I feel like you should do some kind of ability check to see if you cut yourself, but we'll set that aside as well.
I'm not holding the sharp ends.
Good. So there's this whole, we're inside an actual goddess here.
Yeah.
Who died or went dormant centuries ago. Or actually, I forget how long ago.
It was like roughly a week, I think.
Yeah.
It was centuries.
Centuries ago. And so that's kind of, from my perspective, sort of a big deal and the major thing that's going on in this world. Is there any connection between that you know of, and between that and this whole Pin wizard situation?
So Night Whisper thinks about it, and he said, Trukin did say something about some big world-changing quest in this world, and that probably has something to do with it.
Let's do that one.
I've had a lot of time to think about it, and I think maybe the only way to, I guess, do what I came here to do would be to open the heart door. That seems to be, like, the center of everything. But since no one knows how to do it, I'm just not really sure. They say it's got something to do with true love, but, that hasn't really worked out for me.
Well, yeah, I have a question about that. So, all this talk of love is kind of theoretical here for me, but you guys are from another world. Are you still... maybe it's difficult to tell, but are you still able to feel love while you're here, or...
Night Whisper says, actually, I wouldn't say that the people here don't know how to feel love. I think they're all just, really not the best at dating.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
It's not that they can't do it, it's just they haven't practiced. But I don't think there's anything keeping people from falling in love. It just doesn't come as easily, I guess.
Huh. I'm out of my depth here.
I know, tell me about it.
Well, is this something...
How does one date?
Clearly, I have no idea. I don't know. Audreyn said something about lip gloss earlier that...
I said it makes kissing worse.
Important. Yeah. Yeah, I know.
I think less lip gloss, though, is not going to be the thing that solves the problem that this universe has been facing for centuries. Maybe it is. Maybe it's the little things.
So Night Whisper says, maybe you could help me out. Maybe if we all work together and use the power of teamwork and all believe in ourselves really hard, we can get dates.
I'm game. I've never been on one, so I have no idea. But is it fun?
I think that's a highly subjective question.
Okay, well, what is your highly subjective answer?
So Night Whisper says, it's so awkward.
Sounds perfect for me. Okay, so what's the first step
is this where we invent like dating in this universe? Are we gonna invent a dating app or something in this universe? Is that what today's adventure is?
Maybe. So Night Whisper says, I don't think we have to start with anything too complicated. Have you met anyone you like? That's a question to start with.
Grouse winks at Night Whisper.
Night Whisper gets a little flustered.
So that is what we're doing. We're going to try to set Night Whisper up on a date to save this universe.
He's gonna. Night Whisper's gonna say, "Well, listen, you're all relatively new to the city. Why don't you I mean, just like go around and meet more people, I guess.
I mean, there was a kobold who was nice to us. That was a nice friend. And
yeah, kobolds are pretty chill.
Yeah.
She was pretty
good
chill.
laundry skills. And of course, Deckham and Remy hit it off real well.
Yeah.
I know. Seemed like they were big into each other.
Yeah.
What if we go and beat the shit out of Kevin?
Is that a good date?
Night Whisper's gonna say, that's also an option.
He's sort of like, if we're talking about having strong feelings for someone, I have some feelings about Kevin. Knife
so Night Whisper's actually gonna yell back to the office in the back of the sheriff's department, and he's gonna say, "Hey, deputy, can you see Kevin right now?" And the voice is gonna come through his jeweled choker, and it's gonna say, "Of course I can." Oh yeah, a quick note right here. I've been reading up on some beholder lore, and I can't find any evidence that they reproduce sexually. So I'm just gonna go ahead and retcon Stevik's pronoun to they.
All right.
Okay.
I'm also retconning my own pronoun to they, but that's not relevant to the story. So Night Whisper's gonna say, "Is Kevin doing anything illegal?" And Stevik's gonna say, "Yes." So Night Whisper says, "There you have it. We could go beat up Kevin."
All right, I just wanted to throw that out there as an option.
I think that sounds like a great date activity. I think you guys should go for it.
Yeah.
Date? We only just met. And then I arrested you.
Yeah, that is sort of exactly what happened.
It's a shared experience, and you guys have both gone up against Kevin and won.
Oh, I'm so nervous. Is this... He leans over to Skullbutt. How am I doing? Am I cool?
You are so cool. You are my favorite sheriff that I've ever met, and that's after you almost killed me and put me in stocks for a week.
I know, you were breaking the law.
Yeah, we did break that law.
I still don't know exactly what I did that broke the law, but it's water under the bridge.
You were an accomplice, but right, water under the bridge.
The legal system in Heart City, it leaves a little to be desired. So how do dates work? So you've only just met him? Do you normally not go on dates with people you've just met? This is all pretty much news to me.
Night Whisper says, "I don't know. It seems to vary on a case-by-case basis. It makes me... I'm not an expert."
Okay. Are any of you other guys experts?
Nah.
No? Okay. Oh, right. Deckham is no longer in the room.
I also feel like probably not an expert.
No, he might think he's an expert, though.
He is a professional. I don't know a professional what.
Audreyn, do you have any expertise here that you could bring to bear?
Audreyn grew up in the woods.
That would be a good pun if Deckham were around. Nice one, Skullbutt.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, Audreyn grew up in the woods.
Right, which Night Whisper did too, so it's something that people who grew up in the woods aren't necessarily that knowledgeable about. I'm learning so much today.
Yeah, there's not like a whole lot of regular social order in the woods.
So what do? You just you walk up to someone? Well, I guess you said it differs from person. What's a good approach here? Suppose I wanted to. So I met a nice sculptor the other day, and we had a little talk about artistic things. Although I don't know that she would remember any of it since she was blackout drunk. Would I say go up and be like, "Do you want to go on a date?" Or is it? How does it work?
Guys,
Listen.
4 weird nerds trying to figure out dating through Dungeons and Dragons is like a little too meta for me.
Oh, I'm taking notes here.
Why do you think I wrote this campaign? to be weird and meta.
Like I'm married, but I met my husband playing board games. Like, I don't.
I met my wife in the 7th grade, so.
And I haven't been on a date in 7 years. Anyway.
So we are all very good at romance.
Oh yeah, this campaign is gonna go fucking fantastically.
Okay.
So Night Whisper's gonna say, I think if we're gonna do this, we need some professional help. Don't worry, I know a guy.
Oh my god.
Is it Hitch? Are you hiring Hitch? Popular Will Smith film Hitch? Is that what we're doing?
So he's gonna say, you'll see, follow me. And he leads you out of the sheriff's office.
Well, all right.
All right.
And the roads he's taking you down actually start to look pretty familiar as he takes you to the Stone's Throw. And like before, there is a golden-furred dog man at the bar who you know to be a good boy. And so Night Whisper's gonna sit down at the bar and he's gonna say, "Good boy, my friends and I need some life advice." And Good Boy's gonna say, "Yeah, okay, I can help you out." And Night Whisper's gonna say, "How do dates work?" And Good Boy's gonna say, well, first you have to get to know the person you're romantically interested in, then you ask them on a date, then you agree on an activity that you can both do and enjoy together. Usually you have some good conversations along the way, and just see where things go from there. And Night Whisper's gonna say, that sounds deceptively simple. Are you being deceptive? And Good Boy says, nope. And Night Whisper says, okay.
This podcast is very educational.
Night Whisper turns to you and says, does that clear things up?
It sounds simple enough. As you say, deceptively simple.
I just like to think there's at least one listener taking notes.
Oh, that's what you do.
That's what I've been doing wrong. Oh,
I thought it was agree on activity, then get to know them.
All right. So, I mean, it seems like Grouse and Night Whisper are like well on their way through this process then. I mean, getting to know each other, finding a common interest, beating up Kevin. Do we all go on the date together, or how does this work?
We'll just do like a group thing, so it's casual, so it doesn't not too much pressure.
Keep it casual.
Good Boy's gonna say, you know what? It's typically better to give two people on a date some space to express themselves around each other.
But how will we learn good dating if we don't watch it? And
maybe we can use one of those crystal balls back at the sheriff's office to keep an eye on things.
Night Whisper says, that wouldn't make me feel self-conscious at all.
Perfect.
Well, isn't your deputy like always watching everybody all the time anyway? Because he's a creep.
Those crystal balls were made to only visibly display public places. So it's good for like watching out for crimes on the street, but people still get to have their privacy.
So it's not like a full surveillance state.
Nah.
Still pretty uncool.
Plus, Stevik thinks that most of the things that that us humanoids do are pretty gross anyway.
I mean, he's pretty much 90% eyeball, so let's...
He's also not wrong. Humans are gross. Or like, you know,
I agree.
People are gross. This is Tara. I'm speaking out of character here. I have no idea what to do next.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like I looked away from my computer for a second, and the whole adventure took a turn that I was not anticipating.
I mean,
well,
I don't know. I know. Like, long-term goal, find Pin. We probably have to figure out how to open the door.
That was the last place I was following
to do that.
So you're trying to find the line between going on a date with the sheriff and that?
Yeah.
Trust me, it's very convoluted.
That was like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what our next step is here, gang. Do we go on a date to beat up Kevin? Is that the move here?
Is it that we think going on a date will open the heart door?
I think that it might take more than one date. But so many things do.
Nice to meet you. Everybody's favorite rom-com D&D podcast.
Yeah, I realized when I was proposing the crystal ball thing that I was basically turning it into a sitcom from the 80s. I mean, a very strange sitcom, but nonetheless.
I'm okay with it.
So Night Whisperer is going to lean over to Skullbutt and he's going to say, "Hey, do you think Mouse Grouse is going to ask me out?"
You know, he seems...
I like to think that snort was in character.
It might have been.
"I'm asking for a friend."
Yeah.
I think Mouse Grouse heard him and was like,
Here's... Because out of character admission here was like, I was just trying to like garner sympathy while he was putting us in the stocks to like get a lighter sentence later, maybe. Like,
so you're leading him on,
yeah,
you naughty boy.
Straight up. So if the plan is like Grouse and Night Whisperer gonna fall in love, I don't see that happening. Like, I'll fake it. Like, I'll continue to lead this sheriff on for sure. Grouse don't care. He's out there breaking hearts every day. He doesn't care. Like,
yes, I approve.
and who knows? Maybe we'll go full on she's all that, and like it'll start that way, but then I'll fall for the sheriff, but then he finds out, and then we go to the dance.
I would enjoy nothing more.
Night Whisperer takes off his glasses and ponytail.
Night Whisperer doesn't wear glasses, so I feel like he's just making like circles with his fingers in front of his eyes. Takes those off. Shakes out an imaginary ponytail.
Way less weird.
It was quite the campaign you've devised, my friend.
This is the problem with an open sandbox campaign, is that whatever madness crosses our minds is just like, sure.
Pretty much.
Well, I want to ask Good Boy. Good Boy, how do you know so much about this? What makes you such an expert?
Why are you so smooth, Good Boy?
He says, well, I've given a lot of people advice about this sort of thing. I'm actually a life coach as my job, and, well, more people than you think are, wanna try and find romance.
Are you not a bartender as your job?
No.
Nah, he just drinks a lot.
Oh, I thought he was the bartender.
Wait, so you advised other people. What problems did they run into? Or did they succeed in dating? I'm kind of making finger quotes around dating.
A few people managed to hit it off, but it's kind of a hard thing to gauge.
It seems very complicated.
I think a lot of people just have trouble being sincere about how they really feel.
Yeah, I think that's actually literally written on Grouse's character sheet.
Okay, so sincerity is important. So do you set people up on dates, or?
I guess if you twisted my arm, I could. I know a lot of people around the city. I could probably set you up.
Somebody go on a date with Kevin.
No. Deal breaker. Skullbutt has never dated in his life, and yet he is familiar with suddenly he intuitively understands the concept of deal breaker. Mr. Blades is also not on the menu.
Why not?
But, like, I'm so confused.
I'm kind of mad at him for getting us arrested. That's how I'm spinning that story. Yes.
It was definitely Mr. Blades' fault and not Grouse's fault.
Yeah, that's how I see it.
Because I feel like Mr. Blades would have known that, like, every public sphere is under observation.
Right, which technically so did we because we saw the deputy, but nonetheless.
Oh, good point. We're really bad at this. We're dumb.
I mean,
Yeah,
I will remind you again.
Deputy Stevik's setup is I sort of imagine it as being akin to like CCTV, where he's not necessarily always looking at everything, but he covers enough with enough like frequency and brevity that he's basically just looking out for crime is all. Or they're just looking out for crime. I messed it up.
I will remind you of Grouse's original plan of let's get in a bunch of trouble, and then the mayor will find us.
That's true. You did that. What? I mean,
Criminal mastermind.
do I believe that that's the thread of thought that went between let's do a heist and us getting arrested? Not necessarily.
Criminal mastermind over here. Planning heists, meeting mayors.
Hey, wait. Good boy, could you set up a date between me and the mayor?
Ooh, yeah, do that.
Twist.
Good boy's gonna say, I don't have that kind of pull. Who do you think I am? The mayor's pretty much just like,
I think you're a good boy.
aw, thanks. I am a good boy. The mayor, I would probably say she's I guess like the most inaccessible person in the city. You'd have to do something really impressive to land a date with her.
Like another crime?
Not exactly the type of impressive I was thinking about. You'd get her attention for sure, or you'd at least get Night Whisper's attention. Night Whisper waves. But the mayor's not going to deal with every little crime that gets done. Don't take that to mean you should do a really big crime, please. That's not what I'm advocating.
Okay, so we should do a really big crime. That's what I'm hearing here.
So what kind of really big crime do you guys want to do? Kill Kevin.
Night Whisper says, I'm still right here.
But this is to help
that
you, Night
kind
Whisper.
of cuts out the middleman, because you can tell the mayor.
Night Whisper leans over to Good Boy and says, I think they're kind of bad at this.
We're right
Good
here
Boy
too,
says,
you know.
I was whispering, though.
Not
It's in your name, but all right. Well, I'm always up for new experiences. Yeah, if you know someone who you think might be interested in going on a date with an awesome cat bard, I'm totally up for that.
All right. Wait, that was Night Whisper's voice. All right. They're kind of similar, I'll admit.
It's like a fine instrument. You gotta tune it.
I needed a different kind of unbridled enthusiasm.
So Good Boy says, yeah, give me, this'll be kind of a challenge, but give me till tomorrow.
Shouldn't be much of a challenge, though, right?
Yeah, ouch.
Oh, that's not what I meant to imply. I just meant that I could do it really quick, and that
Okay.
would be tough but fair.
All right.
In the meantime,
Picking among the thousands of candidates.
in the meantime, do we want to see if there's... We've been in the stocks for like a while. Do we want to see if there's anything new on the adventure board?
Yes, please. Let's find an adventure.
Let's do that.
As much as I would like to have another 25-minute conversation about how dating works.
I want to stab something so bad. It's been a rough week.
Audryn's walking up to the adventure board, crossing her fingers with her eyes closed, going, Fines.
Okay, so there is in fact a single lonely posting on the adventure board, and let me look through my notes and find what that is.
Did we get all our weapons and stuff back after we were arrested?
Yeah, you did. Like, not the big weapons, but you
No,
got your
the little
staff
things.
and daggers and whatnot. So this adventure posting reads as follows. Adventurers wanted to dutifully and diligently complete, in the cavernous recesses of Torsoland, an exchange of materials and monetary assets in the name of Thel, proprietor of Chimera Wares. That this exchange, made with honest and straightforward courtesy, will allow the owners of the aforementioned store to ply their trade and provide their customers with a finer and more durable and desirable product. The materials in question are to be collected from the provider and returned to the client in Heart City, whereupon payment for the delivery will be rendered in the amount of 20 gold pieces. To begin your quest, brave adventurer, rendezvous with Thel in her place of business, thereby receiving your instructions and her offering in the part of the crucial transaction. So if you're understanding all of that correctly, it sounds like you should go to Chimera Wares and pick up some supplies for them.
Thel? Is that a
Yeah, let's
new
do it.
person that we haven't met who owns Chimera Wares?
You have not yet met anyone named Thel.
Okay. I just thought that Felsier was the proprietor.
Felsier works there, as does Jella.
Okay.
All right, yeah. You guys up for that? That sounds all right to me.
Yeah, let's go do it.
So here we are in the getting to know you segment. This is where we all have sort of a conversation outside the context of role playing. Just get to know each other a little bit better as friends in our inferior real lives. So I guess we've kind of been dancing around this topic, and I know this might be one of the more divisive topics we've probably discussed on the show. But Adventurer is about nothing if not risk-taking, so here we go. How do y'all take your coffee?
Black.
Damn right.
Yeah.
Generally black, sometimes with a little milk.
All right. I can dig that.
Sort of depends on the quality of coffee. The better the coffee, the more likely I am to drink it black.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Jake, how about you?
I don't drink coffee.
You a tea person, or just no caffeine?
I drink tea and a lot of Diet Coke.
Okay.
I had coffee. I was at a music conference, and I was supposed to play a show at like 3 a.m.
Oh boy.
And I was very tired, and there was a coffee machine, so I think it was probably the worst coffee ever made. And I drank a cup of, and I drank like a half a cup of it, and it got me through the show, but it tasted terrible, and I had heart palpitations.
Oh boy.
later. So that experience wasn't great, but I just don't care for it.
Was it one of those vending machines where it just like pours the coffee directly into like the paper cup? Because that stuff is pure garbage.
No, it was like, I think it was,
or was it more like a Japanese machine where it serves it to you in a can hot?
I think, no. I think it was one of the groups there had set up a coffee machine, like a pot of coffee on like a hot plate or something. So,
okay.
I'm sure it had just been sitting there slowly burning all night. But you do what you got to do.
If you really want me to get into controversial coffee opinions, Keith.
I do. That's why we're here.
Keurig coffee, aside from being like environmentally disastrous, is awful.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Fuck
I think
pod coffee and all your stupid pods. They are so bad for the environment, and I don't care that there's a recycle box. They're bad for the environment. They create so much garbage, and the coffee is bad. It is objectively bad.
They are very bad.
the end. It's like not the right temperature. I don't know what's wrong.
Yeah. Keurig, I think, is sort of like a step between regular coffee and instant coffee, so not really the best. And yeah, like you said, it's just like so much plastic waste. I can't in good conscience advocate it.
Because it's not just the pods, right? It's like the containers that the pods come in also creates all this trash. It's so much garbage.
The whole system is no good.
And it's like so much more expensive to buy all those pods than to just like get a bag of coffee beans or coffee grounds.
And I know that like coffee is also like not, it's not necessarily great for the environment the way that it's not, there's like also like labor concerns and all kinds of like reasons. But Keurig is like piles a whole, like, and not Keurig as a brand, but like that concept, like they just pile like so many more on top of it.
Yeah, what's your preference as far as like darkness versus lightness? Because I just basically like my coffee like as dark and nasty as possible. If it tastes like close to dirt but not quite, like that's how I like it.
I like a dark roast. My partner likes a medium roast. That's what we drink in the house.
I usually go medium. The Starbucks Pike Place roast is usually what we have on hand in the house.
Yeah. I know Starbucks can be controversial, but I don't think their coffee is like terrible or anything.
They have, I mean, there's certainly terrible ones that they have, but they have a lot of different kinds. So like the generalization that it's all like burnt garbage is a little
unfair,
I think.
Yeah.
Like Pike Place is their medium roast. They have there's a few other ones that I like, but I mean for the most part I don't like really dark roast coffee to begin with. So.
Oh man, like I really want to continue this conversation, but I'm looking at the clock and I'm so torn. Audryn, how long are you? Or Tara, how long are you good? Sorry.
We can keep talking about coffee for a little while. It's okay.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna go make some more coffee when we're done with this because I spilled half of my coffee on my cereal this morning.
The brand that I am most opposed to, I guess, as far as like big chain coffee, is Dunkin' Donuts, because I think that's just weak mess coffee. Get it out of here.
I'm fine with it. I mean, in terms of like going to a place to buy coffee, where I am, like I don't have a lot of options. But when I used to regularly go to Dunkin' Donuts because I work from home, so sometimes like I'll go somewhere just to work to not be at my house anymore. So I would go to Dunkin' Donuts like a couple times a week and work from there for a bit. And then they opened up a Starbucks, and it's just like more comfortable seats and it smells better. So I started going there instead. But their coffee was fine.
Yeah, I think their coffee's fine.
It's not like my sister's obsessed with it, but I could, I don't hate it.
Yeah, I can't say I know anyone who would describe themselves as obsessed with Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
I don't know
Hang out
if
with my
it's...
sister.
I don't know if this is like a perception thing or if this is accurate. Like, I'm sure I could just Google it, but I choose to live in my own headcanon. I feel like sometimes when I go, my family lives in the Midwest, and I feel like sometimes when I'm there, the coffee is weaker than it is on the East Coast. Even at big chains like Starbucks, like I'll get a regular coffee here, and I'll have to get like a red eye or a black eye to feel like I'm getting the same sort of like amount of coffee taste when I'm in Michigan or Indiana or something.
Interesting.
I don't know if that's actually true or not, but I feel like it's brewed stronger.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me to learn that it's a regional preference, stronger, weak coffee. But I guess there's no way to know for sure. But Jake, I don't want to leave you out of this conversation too much. Do you have particular tea preferences? I drink a little bit of tea.
Beverage of choice?
Yeah.
I'm kind of indiscriminate, so I get different kinds just to get some variety. But I've been drinking a lot of chai recently. That's been pretty good. In fact, I made up a nice canister of it to bring to sip on today, and then I left it at home. So I'll have
chai
some nice...
is kind of a wide umbrella, isn't it? I may be getting this completely wrong, but isn't that just sort of like a broad term for Indian tea?
Yeah, I think that's... See, I don't know a ton about tea, unfortunately, but right. But I think it tends to have, like some cinnamon, maybe some cardamom, some other kind of things in it that just give it a nice kind of flavor beyond just the black tea. Although I like just black tea too.
Yeah, I like tea with a bit of spice in it. That's always a nice treat.
We've been putting a little bit of ground cinnamon in our coffee grounds before we brew it in the morning.
Ooh.
Let me really recommend that choice. Quite good.
That sounds pretty tasty, actually. There's a lot of flavored coffees which are really bad, but like just plain cinnamon and nothing else, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, we do pour over, and so we just like sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon on top of the grounds before we pour the hot water in, and it's
yeah,
real
that's
tasty.
what we usually do too. And like back to Keurig being terrible, like if you just want to make a cup of coffee, it's very easy to make one cup of coffee. Like I've heard people talk about how great the pod coffee is because you can just make one cup. I'm like, yeah, I don't know, like was that a hard thing before? Like if you have a coffee, like a drip coffee maker that makes like a pot, you can still put enough water in it for one cup.
Yeah, I know. This is kind of a complicated sort of concept, but like bear with me. Just put less water.
Yeah, just don't make an entire pot of coffee. Just make
well, and like
one.
we have an AeroPress that we use sometimes. We used to use it a lot. I used to use it a lot more before I moved in with my partner, and then when I needed to make 2 times as much coffee in the morning, got a pour over. But that's really good for making one really good cup of coffee at a time.
My wife and I usually make coffee at different times in the day, but like if we were having them at the same time, like we have a French press too where we can make 2 cups of coffee at once, and we'll do that. But
yeah, they make French presses that make a single cup of coffee.
Yeah, we have like a medium-sized one where it does about, you could maybe get 3 out of it, but we do that like if we happen to be having coffee at the same time. But usually just the pour over, and it's super. Like when I worked in an office, like I just brought that, and there was an electric kettle there that people would use, and they had the Keurig there, but it was so much easier and cheaper because the company didn't supply the pods. Like everybody just brought their own in.
That's what we have at our office.
Yeah, I'm like, well, I'll just get this. Like I would use that for the hot water sometimes when the kettle was being used by somebody else or something. But yeah, like you can just buy a bag of coffee for like $9 or whatever, and then just go to town.
Well, my old office had a like a pod coffee thing, so I got one of the reusable pods because I was like, maybe it's just that the quality of the coffee is.
I've used those too, but like those reusable pods just don't do a good job.
No, it's something about the way I feel like it's probably some combination of like the amount of water that you can get to the ratio of grounds and like the temperature, but whatever it is, it's still not good.
Yeah, like, just something about like I think it just probably just doesn't steep the grounds for very long, however it works.
Yeah,
whatever it is, it makes very weak coffee.
Yeah,
don't tweet at me.
tweet at Keurig. Yeah, just send all like I guess just send some angry tweets at Keurig, care of @DiceToMeetYou. Don't actually do that. I don't want to be confrontational.
Unrelated to coffee, but related to not tweeting at people. I recently turned on the option in Twitter to only see replies from people that I follow, and then there's also like a quality filter thing. It's the greatest. Because I'll look at a tweet and I'll see because it shows you how many replies, but only replies from people I followed, and be like, oh, I have 30 replies on a thing I posted about Trump. I bet most of those aren't super insightful, and I don't have to read them, and it's great.
My strategy for dealing with Twitter hate is don't have any followers and don't have any tweets.
That also is highly effective.
Yeah, I won't say no followers and no tweets. I've got like 3 tweets. All about this show, mostly. Anyway. So you go to the store, and upon walking in, you're actually greeted by Jella, the goat woman, and she recognizes the 3 of you.
She said we're looking sharp.
I guess 4, since Night Whisperer also decided to go with. I guess he's not got anything better to do, but well, he kind of does. But anyway, but Jella's gonna say, well, hi there. What can I help you with today? She looks at Audreyn. Were you maybe interested in that fashion advice I offered?
No, this outfit is the best. You don't understand anything. I mean,
well,
we're looking
I disagree with that.
Fell.
Also, I will be needing a cape.
She notices the adventure posting you're holding onto, and she says, "Oh, of course. I'll right away. I'll get her for you." I guess she goes into a back room, and after a short while, out comes a lion woman, and she's gonna say, "Hello there. You're responding to the adventure request?"
Yes.
Very well then. As instructed by the request, then you will take this money, and she holds up a pouch of coins. She says, "You will take it to my supplier in Torso Land and make the transaction, then return to me with the materials." Simple enough, yes.
Yeah. How hard can it be? What could go wrong?
All right, very good then. And she hands over the coins, but gives your party sort of a look over, and she says, "Torso Land does have a reputation for being rather dangerous.
So do I."
She looks at Night Whisper and says, "I assume that your post will not allow you to leave the city so casually. Are you sure you wouldn't wish to look around the city for possibly anyone to join your little band?"
We're very good at this. I know it seems like we're not, but we are.
Do you normally send like teams of 20 people to retrieve your supplies, or how does this work?
Not so many, but the materials I'm purchasing, well, it is several bolts of fine cloth, and I do believe a larger contingent of adventurers would do better to ensure its safety.
I'm not bringing Kevin. If that's what you're getting at.
I'm not familiar with this Kevin, but
you're lucky.
If you don't desire to bring him, then don't.
Night Whisper, are you going to come with us?
Night Whisper says, "I'm supposed to be sheriff right now, but are you asking?"
Yeah, come with us, and then we don't have to bring Kevin.
Okay, I'm sure I can make time. I'm a good sheriff. They'll probably give me time off.
Just take like the afternoon off. We'll go do some stuff.
What kind of PTO accrual do you have?
Well, I think it's measured on a basis of how much the mayor cares about it on any given day.
Oh, you should talk to HR.
I think she'd be pretty cool for letting me take the day off.
Yeah. Let's go do some crime. I mean, adventure.
Night Whisper says, "You're a little obsessed with crime, aren't you? You're a bad, edgy guy."
Nailed it.
You got me figured out, buddy.
I have moments of edginess myself. Maybe it's something we can bond over.
Yeah.
2 edgy boys going on an adventure.
Hell yeah.
In character, Audryn's gonna go, This is making me very uncomfortable.
This next episode song is going to be so weird.
Oh, no doubt.
Audryn doesn't fully understand what's going on. She's just like, I don't know, but I feel like maybe these are not like maybe. I feel maybe like I'm like, when there's like too many wheels. What's the word for that? If you have a cart and it's got like it's kind of wobbly because it doesn't have the right number of wheels. That's how I feel.
All right, let's do this thing.
All right. Give me 1 second. I'm taking a moment to move something into the player folder.
Okay.
Oh.
So I've just shared with you a document entitled "Date Mechanics." So it's like
Sure.
10 pages long. So you don't have to read it all here.
Oh boy, date checks.
But I'll just explain it as we go. And
Keith, did you write 10 pages of dating source material?
yes, I
Or
did.
is this... Oh my...
All right, let's
I
see.
thought that the 4 weird nerds trying to think about dating via D&D couldn't get more 4 weird nerdy, and then you uploaded
then
a
it
document
did.
called Date Mechanics.
Let's see. To determine escalation, roll 1d4 and apply the floating modifier. Yeah, all right. This is pretty much how I remember dating working.
Yep. Sort of the first thing you need to worry about is filling up your date's affection point categories.
Yeah.
So there are 3 categories called charm, thoughtfulness, and compatibility. Basically, you get charm for doing charming stuff, thoughtfulness for doing thoughtful stuff, and compatibility for just being a good match. So every time you want to take an action to try and earn points in a given category, you roll a date check, which
Yeah.
is typically a charisma check modified by your proficiency. Although on a case-by-case basis, you can sometimes make date checks using different abilities or modifiers if it's appropriate to the situation.
I'm going to take issue with the casual, moderate, and grand actions being how expensive something is.
Yes, that's another thing. The difficulty and sort of the risk reward of date checks is sorted into 3 categories. There's casual checks, which are just like small gestures, which you get to roll 1d6 plus your charisma modifier for. Then there's moderate, which are more typical, sort of less casual gestures of affection that earn you 3d6 plus your modifier points. And then there's grand actions, which are like big sweeping gestures that earn 5d6 plus your charisma modifier. And they get progressively harder, sort of the bigger you go.
Date phase tables.
Yep.
I'm literally right now like going through my first date with my partner and wondering what we rolled.
Oh.
I had an intense allergic reaction the night before our first date and like was real unhappy the day of. I'm wondering if I rolled.
That means you must have bunked something up in the preparation phase.
Oh my god.
So anyway, like I said, I've been on a few dates many, many years ago, so I think this is pretty true to life. I did not enjoy those dates. I didn't know asexual was a thing.
Friendship dates.
AKA hangouts. So, I will just say out of character here, if you're going on this adventure, you can bring a date along and try to score some AP.
Okay. So,
So is this when we go, me and Night Whisper on a date now? Is that what you're telling me?
Pretty much.
I mean,
Right
you
on.
get to consent to that, Grouse. Like,
True.
No, I just mean, like, that's what's being presented as an option?
Pretty
you
much.
could bring a different
All right.
date. I'm sure it would upset Night Whisper, but you could.
No, that's fine.
Okay, but so is that is this the like overarching goal of this campaign is to get a good date so that we can open the heart door?
I think so. Of course, the main goal of this campaign is to goof around and have fun shenanigans, but yes, to advance the story, this is how you do it.
I have a follow-up question.
Uh-huh.
Is this more or less when people left the campaign the first time you ran?
Yes.
That was going to be my next question.
All right. So we have to... Okay, well,
But for the people who did stick around, it was pretty dope.
No doubt.
All right.
This is, I mean, the level of like detail and thought put into this for somebody who does not like dating is like, this is impressive. Although maybe that gives you a sense of objectivity that.
So I'm looking at the list of NPCs, and I'm like obviously the funniest choice would be Jella, just because she and Audreyn might murder each other by the end of it, but that might not be the greatest.
Oh yeah, also an important thing to know, the more experienced and charismatic an NPC is, the more challenging it will be to roll successful date checks and to fill up their AP categories.
Sure.
But you'll also get more experience out of it.
I mean, Night Whisper seems pretty into Grouse, so I feel like that's our best bet.
I feel like you guys have a lot in common, but it seems like
no.
each of us. No,
We both love Grouse.
yeah.
That's true.
Isn't that the
Foundation of
most
your
important
relationship.
thing? You got that whole cat mouse thing going on. That's like,
Pretty cute.
yeah. Thank you for ending the sentence for me, because I wasn't sure what the end of it was.
It's a thing.
So we each need a date, or
You don't necessarily need one, but if you want to,
we could get...
but if you want to roll those AP scores,
Question.
it would be, yes.
Can I take myself on a date? You know, just for some me time. And like, can I
don't
still
know.
use these mechanics?
I don't know that it would progress the story, but it would be really funny, especially if you started failing checks.
No, I mean, you just said that love has to open the door. I mean,
Yeah.
it's important to love as RuPaul has taught us, if you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to love someone else?
RuPaul does say that.
So,
And I do really like RuPaul. Yeah, okay, I'll allow it.
Yay!
What the hell?
self-care is important.
RuPaul is also important.
Facts.
I don't think anybody's going to argue otherwise.
No. So, well, I think I might try tracking down... not being able to remember how to pronounce her name is not a great start, but the elf
Are you
sculptor,
looking
Salisa.
for Salisa? Yeah.
Would it be difficult to track her down, or?
That is a good question. She didn't mention like where in the city her studio was, but
I feel like the sheriff would probably know.
yeah, you might be able to ask around.
Okay. Night Whisper, I ran to...
Hey, what's up? We've been standing around for a while.
We have. Get used to it. I think that there might be a lot of that going on. I was thinking that I might see if Salisa was who's a sculptor in town might be interested in going on this thing. Do you know where she is?
From at the bar, Good Boy says, "I do."
Wait, are we at the bar? Where are we?
Oh no, wait. Yeah, whoops, I forgot where we were. Good dungeon mastering. Night Whisper says,
Good Boy just has really good hearing and a very loud voice.
Night Whisper says, no, I don't know, but you could ask around probably.
I bet Good Boy would know.
I bet he would. Yo, Good Boy has got mad connections.
Okay. Yeah, right. Like, I keep thinking, like, well, do we want to take up adventure time doing this? And then I'm like, but wait, maybe this is the adventure? So, do we know where we're going to pick up this, the cloth and everything?
Yes, actually, Thel is going to hand you a rolled up scroll, and she's going to say, here are your instructions. As Torso Land is notoriously difficult to navigate, I believe these will take you to your intended destination if you follow them closely and acutely.
Thanks. Great. Yeah, so we'll get together our party and we'll head out as soon as we can.
All right.
Okay. So do you guys mind if we head back to the bar and see if Good Boy can...
No, not at all.
Right.
I do want to grab that cape.
Oh, that's right.
Leave.
Yes, you wanted a cape.
Since we're here, I wasn't gonna like make a special trip. But
Oh, and actually, well, yeah, you get your
All
cape
right.
first, and then I have another.
I want to look like a fancy boy on my date.
All right. So I'm actually going to treat this as a roll for part of your preparation phase. Let me quick pull up Night Whisper's stats.
Okay.
So I know what his date check DCs are.
Of course.
Of course.
Need those date checks.
So during the preparation phase, you get to make up to 5 date checks, just doing things to get ready for your night out, and so they can be as grand or as casual as you want. They can be for any category that you want to go for. But the thing about the preparation phase is there's no escalation value for them, and there's no penalty for failure. So basically, the more checks you do during the prep phase, the easier it is to not strike out just like as soon as you roll a bad check during the actual phases. So buying a cape, that's I'd say that's a little bit I'd say that's a little bit above casual, since cape is a pretty fairly unusual garment for everyday wear. So I'm gonna say that's fancier than casual. I'm gonna have you roll a moderate charm check. Remember, that's your charisma plus proficiency.
It's a 20, baby.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that succeeds. So it's 3d6 plus your charisma modifier.
13 points. I'm looking good in this cape, guys.
You're working it.
I never doubted it.
I'll take a look at this list of locations and see what I'm going to do to get ready for my self date.
All right. So what is everyone else doing? Real quick before, you're going back to the bar.
Oh, actually, can I ask Jella something before we go?
Oh, yeah. Grouse was also buying a cape. That's 7 silver pieces.
Yeah.
And you rolled a 20 total, so it looks pretty darn good on you. What color cape?
Black.
Nice.
So it's stealthy.
Nice.
Can I go to the oh, I guess you were gonna ask Jella something. I was gonna go to the Black Cauldron and buy myself something that smells nice.
Oh, okay. You're gonna get a perfume. So let me quick describe the Black Cauldron to you. I have a lot of tabs open. Give me a sec. Okay. So you walk over to the Black Cauldron, and sort of mist is curling out of this store as you open the black front door, and inside, a cauldron bubbles, and strange potions and reagents line the shelves. Behind the counter is a tiefling man with curling horns in a black robe. "Welcome to the Black Cauldron," he says in a dramatic stage whisper. So here you can buy potions, alchemical items and supplies, and material components for spellcasting, and incidentally, perfumes. So I don't really know how to describe scents, but maybe you can we'll just roleplay it and see what you're looking for.
I think, what do I like? I feel like I'm gonna like,
Vines.
Yeah, it was,
A nice fragrant vine.
not something too floral, but something definitely like, maybe something like grassy.
Yes, I believe I can help you out. So he's going to poke around on the shelves for a little bit, and he's going to pull out a vial labeled Nature's Roots, and he says, "This is a medley of different natural scents from the world of flora." So he opens the vial and lets you waft it, and it does smell like just sort of like not like a pure fresh cut grass scent, but more of like I guess sort of more the scent of like a wild grown field. It's like a little bit flowery, but like not overpoweringly so.
I think I'm into it.
All right. Basically, like, if you're like me, it just smells like pure allergies.
Yeah. I am. Audreyn is not.
All right. So that vial is not too expensive. It costs 5 gold.
Okay, I mean, I feel like I could buy myself a nice present.
All right, so make a thoughtfulness check. It's something pretty simple, so even though it's a little bit pricey, it's not too extravagant. So I'm going to call that one a casual check. So roll your date check. That's charisma plus proficiency.
So I just a D20.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I rolled a 2. My proficiency is 3, and my charisma is 1, so I failed.
Wow. Okay. So you get this perfume, and it's really nice, but I guess Audryn's not too accustomed to actually wearing perfume, so she like just dumps about half the bottle on herself, and oh boy, is it too much.
This is the best adventure ever.
No one told her how to do perfume. There's like a spray there's like a spray nozzle on there, Audryn. Get it together.
She
Audryn
just like
breaks
a shot.
out into like so many hives. like her neck swells up. Her eyes are like almost completely puffed shut.
Oh yeah, I probably should have mentioned this earlier, but there are a couple of big important points that are made right at the top of the dating mechanics that don't really have anything to do with rules, but the first one is, like, as a general rule, things like gender and race do not affect dating in this world. In theory, anyone can date anyone. For the most part, NPCs will show no preference towards characters of any particular persuasion. The choices a player makes to determine whether or not a character wants to date them will be made during role-playing, not during character creation. That is not to say it will be easy for a character to date any NPC. It might take insight and determination on their part, and of course, as with all activities, they run the risk of failure.
So we can't date the mayor.
I'm not saying you can't. I'm saying it's going to be damn hard. And then the next one, I want y'all to read this one along with me. Keep it PG. This system is not designed to portray interactions of an adult nature, and neither is your DM. You can still say swears, though.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that clears things up.
But also, like, let's not overlook the line that is above those two lines, which is the outcome of a date could mean success or failure for the entire party in their quest. So, like, no pressure, everyone. In order to form a loving relationship with another character, you must successfully complete another number of dates.
So what is Skullbutt doing during the preparation phase? I guess he goes to back to the tavern and asks. Or
I had a question for Jella.
Oh yes.
Yes. So I kind of sidle up to Jella and I look a little embarrassed, and I say, I was thinking of inviting Celisa to go along on this quest, and I was wondering if you had like an accessory or something that might be nice for someone who is going on a quest with a friend for the first time.
Celisa, she was the girl you were talking to at the bar, yeah?
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
She's
I
very
remember
artistic.
her. Yeah. Said she was a sculptor?
Yeah.
Well, I think the obvious choice would be get her a nice bottle of wine or something. But if you're thinking more along the lines of an accessory, I think I can help you pick something out.
Yeah, I don't think that I want her to get drunk on our quest to get fabric for you guys.
Yeah, I know. That was a little joke.
Oh, very funny.
But anyway, let me see what I can do for you. So she sort of looks over one of the display cases filled with I guess like a bunch of lapel pins and like a few like fashionable accessories of that nature. And let's see, you're dressed in a minstrel outfit.
Navy blue, as I recall.
Yeah. Something artistic, you said. Let's see. What should I describe here? And she's going to pull out a silver lapel pin, which has sort of like a modern minimalist design to it. It's sort of just like a few interlocking squares, like somewhat reminiscent of a flower's petals, but sort of a little bit off center and noticeably imperfect. And she says, "What do you think about this?"
Yeah, that's pretty nice. How much is it?
Let's see, silver pin. We'll call it 1 gold, 2 silver.
Is there an employee discount?
I'm not buying it for you.
Yeah, but I'm doing a job for you guys.
You're a freelancer, not an employee.
Is there a freelancer discount?
You know what? Since you're a little new to the city and this sounds like a bit of a special night, you convinced me. I'll knock off the 2 silver.
Ah, that's great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I am pretty great. Just kidding. Here you go.
All right. So I'll hand over the gold and I'll do I'll give the 2 silver piece as a tip.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you. That was great. Can it be packaged in a little box or something?
Oh, of course.
Oh, great.
Yeah, she puts it in a little jewelry box for you and hands it over.
Thank you.
So, with the specter of your first date looming overhead, we will leave it at that and call it a cliffhanger for next time. Yeah, I know this is
cliffhanger.
This is quite a left turn for the campaign to take, but I think if y'all bear with me, it's only going to get goofier and goofier from here on out. It's going to be a good time. So with that, let's take care of some housekeeping. Intro and transition music was provided by Ira Ray. Many thanks to him. Incidental music by me. So if you want to follow the show on Twitter, like we were just talking about in the Getting to Know You segment, you can do that at Dice to Meet You. If you just want to say hi, say what you think of the show in 140 characters or less, we would really appreciate it. Also, you can find all of our episodes and some additional campaign information at dicetomeetyou.com, where this show lives. You can also give us a review on iTunes. That would really, really help us out. That'll help more people find the show and give them an idea of what to expect. Although I guess not a complete idea, since something unexpected did just happen. There's no accounting for that, but yeah, give us a review. It'll only take you a few minutes, and if you screenshot your 5-star review, send it to me. I'll send you back a link of some campaign information for this campaign. Basically, all the notes I'm keeping, all of the locations and characters that I've written that we've encountered and explored so far. So you'll get a really fun look at sort of the behind the scenes of this campaign, what it looks like from my end of the screen. So then let's take care of some plugs. You can get my book, Persona 5e, at rpgnow.com. There should even be a print version coming out relatively soon. I expect that will be out by the time that this episode airs, because I did just work out with the publisher. So like the file is posted, we just gotta wait for the printer to send a proof, and then that thing will be up for sale. It was kind of stalled for a few months, but now things are finally moving, so you can get that glorious guide on creating talking animal characters on the printed page. How very exciting.
Excellent. I still have a comedy album that you can buy. Just look up Glen Tickle. Yes, really. It still exists in the world. That's about it. You can also, if you look on my website, I'm planning to update the schedule on there today, actually. So it should have dates and stuff if you're looking to come see me tell jokes.
Cool.
I'm Jacob Haller. Actually, about Glen's album, I was on a drive from Brooklyn to New Jersey with a friend, and I played the entire album for him, and it was really enjoyable. Thanks. So yeah, check that out. And also the video you posted of you and your daughter reciting the Happy Days song this morning was 100% what I needed to see, and
yeah, that popped up in the Facebook memories thing. We actually, I didn't have time to post it before we started recording, but she watched that video with me this morning because it was in the Facebook memories thing, and then she wanted to redo it. Mm-hmm. So that was, I think, 2 years ago. So we redid it this morning. So that'll be up probably right when we're done recording.
So I'm Jacob Haller, and I have a bunch of different projects which you can find out about at jacobhaller.com. The one that I'm going to sync off this week is, this episode is Love You Like Crazy, which is my podcast with my friend Carrie, where we talk about young adult fiction and swear a lot. And I think it's a lot of fun. And we have a lot of things planned for this year that I'm kind of excited about. So hopefully they'll all work. So yeah.
I have another show called Death Prattle. We talk about death and grief and mourning, both in the micro and in the macro. And I'm going to plug something that is not in any way my project, but has bringing me a great deal of comfort. And that is the Kitten Academy live stream. It's a family in Illinois that fosters kittens and live streams their lives and then adopts them out. And they have a Patreon if you want to support that work and help them pay for those medical bills. And really self-care is really important. And if you just want to watch a pile of kittens climb all over each other, do that. Because that
sounds pretty good.
It's really soothing. I watch it while I'm doing dissertation data management so that I don't look at Twitter or Facebook, and it's been a real lifeline for me.
So I think that about covers it. So until next time, I'm Keith McBlane.
I'm Glen Tickle.
I'm Jacob Howler.
I'm Tara Dunderdale.
And it has been Dice to meet you. See you later, everyone.
Bye, friends.
All right.